And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth so that we can help you as a consumer advocate. Everything we do here is about being your consumer advocate and making you just a bit more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate, and we want to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. We want you to save our hotline number in your phone.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Our phone number is 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. Make sure you save our hotline number in your phone. You can call or text that line with any questions, comments, concerns. We also have our website as a great resource for you, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, their contact information, their websites, all on our website, and there for you as a resource. We want to be that resource for you. Think of us as your super connector to all things real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, several different types of attorneys on the show with different specializations. And we have a lot of home services, of course, solar technologies. We're talking about PEO today as well as DUI law here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we've got our expert contributors in studio. It's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here back in studio. Patrick Moraites, PEO Advantage. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on? Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Working hard, making things happen out here and fighting this market that's shifting in the real estate side. It's a shifting market out there.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that, right? Things seem to be slowing down a little bit, maybe more time on the market.
That's right.
Is that what
Days
you're
on the
seeing?
market are up, absorption rate slowing. And, there's prices. Sellers are having to make some price reductions because it's shifting to a buyer market.
That's a nice change for once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, most people were just throwing FSBO signs out in their yard and getting it done, for a short period of time there, especially if it's in the right market,
All the more reason to have someone like you on their team and backing them up so they know what to do, right?
That's right. They actually need some marketing behind them now. So That's exactly right.
Perfect. That's awesome. That's exciting.
Yeah, man.
I liked what you said when you were opening up the show talking about Super Connector, because that's essentially a lot of what we do with respect to the PEO side. So excited to talk about and distinguish between the difference between a professional employer organization and a staffing company, because a lot of times the two get confused, and so we're going to talk a little bit later today about the difference between the two.
I love it. Good stuff. We have attorney Richard Alexander also in studio. Alexander Law. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Brandon. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Absolutely. You look dapper today as well.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
There you go, man. I love some of your posts too from the, from the Facebook posts and different things. It's lightening it up sometimes when you're in the courthouse over there.
I mean, it's a full-time job. Just being pretty aggressive on the actual social media side. So it takes up time. I try to stay active. I try to post like 15 to 20 articles a week.
Yep.
And on every different type of social media out there. So it's a lot of work, man.
It is, yeah. And it's entertaining. It's fun.
Thanks.
It's good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna talk about DUI law. Also, about Utah. They made a change to their DUI law and lowered the limit to .05. So pretty crazy. We hope that depending on which side you're on here, but that seems like a pretty low bar to set there.
It is, and interesting thing about Utah, it was the first state to actually lower it from .10 to .08. And it seems like a lot of the other states just got in line.
Yeah.
They didn't have to, they just did. And they just saw the trend, and I just wrote a blog about it. I'm going to publish it about, is this another trend? Utah set the pace last time.
Wow.
Are they setting the pace again? And our state's going to say, you know what, 05 sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And if that's true, that's another one of those things that's going to set DUI law on its head.
Right.
Because that's going to be almost, that's one beer, basically, you leave a restaurant.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. Again, that's a legal limit. That means you don't even have to be under the influence.
Yeah, it looks like, it sounds like they just want to... They want to get some money in the system. They got to combat those taxes,
Wow.
The taxes are, that's another way to tax people, right?
It's fighting Uber and Lyft, man. I'm telling you, they have to be losing money from Uber and Lyft.
I guarantee you their numbers. We'll have to look at that in deeper. This segment is brought to you by the Lucky Deal, our official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. It's the Lucky Deal. They've got a restaurant, deli, NYC bar, Brooklyn Bakery, catering, banquets as well, and it's home of the Sandwich That Ate Brooklyn. Excellent food, and very proud to have the Lucky Deal as our official restaurant partner. 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa, right across the street from the International Mall. And you also have a location in Palm Harbor. The original location is in Palm Harbor on US 19. Walk in, say hello to the team over at the Lucky Deal. Let one of the managers know that you're there because you heard them on the Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by Brandon Rhymes. I'm your host here, and I'm a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We help our sellers maximize the exposure on the sale of their real estate properties, and we got a couple of hot ones here I want to let you know about. This is a commercial asset that we have for sale on Clearwater Beach, 207 Coronado Drive in Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the world. And I've got a $3.5 million asset for sale right across the street from the Wyndham Grand, one of the top hotel chains in the United States, worldwide actually. It's the Wyndham Grand. So it's right across the street, 207 Coronado Drive. You see Pier 60 in the background here if you're looking at our TV show. You got the Hyatt as well, so it's a great opportunity. Builder, developer, business person. Let's make a deal on this lot. Owners are motivated. 207 Coronado Drive. It's a convenience store. It's got leasing. You got a concrete block structure that you can work with. Obviously, it needs a little bit of work, but great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 207 Coronado Drive, hot property listing, and it's a great opportunity when you look at the commercial side and what's happening in real estate. The Tampa Bay area is just really appreciating. So let's take another look at a property here, 7424 4th Street North over in St. Petersburg. Again, another great property. This is a gas station, corner lot. It's got convenience store. It's got bays for light mechanical work, and it's got a mini mart as well. Large lot, corner lot. Great opportunity for a builder, developer, someone maybe to come in and redevelop, but it's a high trafficked area and just a great listing of ours. Platinum MVP Realty.com. Check out Platinum MVP Realty.com. By the way, we just inked a deal. Real excited to announce that we have now syndicated our show to over 85 new outlets. Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Sony, Roku, and 85 other outlets. So we're real excited about that, putting the pieces together, updating all of our logos, our branding. So now we're taking the show to a lot more households, literally millions of households every day. So
that's
it's
awesome,
really
man.
neat.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
phenomenal.
much. Yeah, it's really cool. Real excited about that.
You've been grinding at this for a long time.
Yeah, man, just adding value. We've got a lot of value here with the show, great partners associated with the show, so we want to get the word out more. We got to get more viewers on the show, and it's just a great way. So we got WeBeam TV here locally, putting it out through now. We're able to syndicate this show out on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, all these different places, and that's going to help us get more exposure for all of our listings as well. So some hot real estate listings, and we got our expert contributors here in studio. So Patrick Moraites, longtime friend of the program. Now let's just start off. What is employee leasing? Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, which that's a trick question, because employee leasing is the same as PEO, or professional employer organization.
Okay.
Another industry term that is commonly used is co-employer. So in all instances under that terminology, the PEO is known as the administrative employer.
Okay.
So they're handling all your back office burdens, payroll, HR, workers' comp, in some cases benefits, 401k. They administer paying your taxes, your state unemployment, your payroll taxes, and you as the business owner are the worksite employer. So hiring, firing, training, recruitment, disciplining, all that still managing, all that still falls on your plate.
Marketing,
everything,
growing the business, allowing you to focus
a million
on
other hats that fall on the business owner from a day-to-day aspect. The goal and objective of the PEO, or the employee leasing company, is to help offset some of those administrative burdens off your plate.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense when you look at the way that, business owners, again, it's so many ways, and Richard, you kind of alluded to it earlier today. It's like, we're already business owners, flashback 5-10 years ago, you're a business owner, you're doing things, and then you have, the advent of internet and social media now on top of you.
He was talking about writing 20 different articles or blogs. I'm like, man, in a week? Throw that on your plate on top of everything else, trying to keep up with the media expectations. It's there's no small amount of things on your plate.
That's right. Keeping up with the laws too. We've talked about in the past. You brought up some laws that changed, and if here I am. Let's just say, for example, I'm a construction company or a painting company. I'm good at my craft. I'm not keeping up with all these different laws. I might have people on my books that didn't have a certain type of visa or whatever it was.
Or as soon as you grow and expand, and you take a job in Georgia, or you cross the state line, then you're dealing with a whole laundry list of compliance issues and stuff like that the PEO can support you with and share in that liability and take that off your plate so you can facilitate doing the job that you're contracted to do.
Makes a lot of sense. Stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from Patrick Moraites. We got attorney Richard Alexander in studio as well. He's a wealth of knowledge as well around these criminal aspects of the law, DUI, and these different types of scenarios. So stay with us, and we're going to talk about an interesting story in our feel-good story of the day as well. And stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. This segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the Bill Maher Beach Resort over on beautiful Treasure Island, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. The Bill Maher Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for many years. Whether you're planning a business trip, a wedding, a local vacation, or staycation, what a great place to go check out. They've got 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's restaurant, a beautiful beach, a very long beach as well, and the Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner. Now give the general manager a call, Clyde Smith. Let him know that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show, and take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you are a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Bill Maher Beach Resort, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, got a great investment opportunity for you here. This is a St. Pete property, 3591 79th Way North in St. Petersburg. This is a great opportunity. 3-bedroom, 1 bath, a great rental for the owner. She said, she's making a good income on it. She's just ready to sell it. $199,000, just an affordable property in St. Petersburg, entry-level home. Also, I want to take you over to the beaches, 1370 Gulf Boulevard, Unit 401, Clearwater Beach. This is the Bella Rosa condo, 3 bedrooms, 3 bath, $1.12 million. And this property is a 2,200 square foot home, and just a great, great opportunity to live right on the beach, Sand Key and Clearwater Beach, again, #1 beach in the world. And it's got tennis on site, pool, spa, and you literally walk out onto the beach every day. It could be your backyard here in beautiful Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so more coming up from Patrick Moraites. We're going to jump back into the PEO business. I want to bring Richard Alexander onto the show here, or into the program, into the conversation. DUIs, man. DUI law. You're helping people out there with all types of law, but one of those areas that you do focus on is DUI. What are you seeing in that space?
Well, again, Patrick already talked a little bit about this, about Uber. And, I haven't really noticed a downturn in DUIs. I really haven't. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that as Americans, I think we're in love with our automobile.
Right.
Everybody has 2 cars.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
A lot of families do. Yep.
And we have this notion as being Americans of being in love with the motor vehicles.
Yes.
That, it's the immediacy of once you're done with whatever. Let's say you're in a bar or in a restaurant, whatever. It's the immediacy of saying, you know what, I'm fine.
Yeah.
My car's right there. Here are the keys. I'll make it home. Everything is going to be okay.
Yeah.
Or I'm not that far from home. That's always a misconception, right?
Right.
And most accidents happen
close to home.
Close to home.
Right.
And you're like, oh, it's only a couple miles. And
yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the mindset of just as Americans, we're just in love with motor vehicles.
Sure.
We take care of them, we baby them, we spend money on them, and I think Uber. It takes time for Uber to show up. So Lyft, it takes a little bit of while. Plus, you have to get on the app. It's a fantastic device to do that. But I don't think we're at that point in our lives where we're just saying, you know what, I'm just gonna Uber. And the interesting thing about that is Uber's become like a verb.
Yeah.
Like Google has.
It has.
Google's become a verb.
Absolutely.
And Uber's slowly turning into that, where it's becoming a verb.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if we're there yet. I haven't seen it, the downturn yet.
Yeah.
It may happen. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at that. I think a lot of times people, especially if they're planning a night out, they're going all the way from, let's just say West Chase area, for example. That's a good hefty little drive to downtown. If they're going to a concert, hockey game, whatever it might be, and they plan to drink, I think more and more couples are saying, oh, you know what, let's just leave the cars at home. Let's take an Uber. It doesn't cost as much. And Lyft is great too. So I think some of that happens. But let's talk about this. So you got Utah now. So here's the state that led the charge last time, dropping it down to a 0.05. And it's kind of silly. I mean, if you have like a 180-pound person that, has, maybe he goes and has a salad, he or she eats a salad, nothing real hearty, they have a couple beers, that could put you over to 0.05.
Yeah, and here's what's interesting about a 0.05 is that, the state of Florida has 3 different types of jury instructions depending on the BAC, the breath alcohol content. So, for instance, anything below a 0.08 and between a 0.05, there's what's called a rebuttable presumption of being under the influence. That means the defense is allowed to argue that, the accused was not under the influence. of an alcoholic beverage, something like, something along that line. And that's interesting because that's going to turn jury instructions on its head.
Wow.
Because anything, and then anything below the 0.05, there's a presumption that you are not under the influence. So think about what that's going to do. That the jury instructions for DUI cases is going to have to be rewritten.
Wow. Yeah, that's nuts, man. And a lot of it is about how you pre-frame the question. We've even talked about it, I believe, on voting instructions. When they go into the ballot, here's the voting or the way that the words, the sentence reads on whether you're going to vote yes or no for this amendment. That it gets where it's like double negatives in there, and you have it gets confusing for people.
That's an excellent point, because the last time I was here, I said the Hillsborough County residents raise taxes on themselves, not once, but twice.
Yes.
So now it went from 7 to 8.5%.
Right.
So, literally, and I think a lot of it has to do with exactly what you just talked about, is how is it written? It's written by attorneys.
Right.
And is it written so that non-lawyers understand exactly what it's asking?
Right.
So that's an excellent point, Brandon.
Yeah, it really is. It's scary when you think about it, because, we've heard it said that the average reading level of general, again, the whole population in general, not our listeners on, our stations here, but, the majority is what, an 8th grade reading criteria, right?
Yeah, 8th grade level.
Newspapers, newspapers are written at an 8th grade reading level. Yeah.
So you think about that, and then when they start putting in these, these deceiving type lingos to try to get bills passed or to favor a certain way, it just makes it confusing.
Yeah, and who suffers ultimately is the consumer.
Yeah.
We do.
That's right. Yep. Interesting. So we're talking with Richard Alexander. He's a local attorney here, Alexander Law. The DUI is one of the areas, but you also work on, other types of cases, and you actually go to trial. You're a trial attorney.
Yeah, I've had well over 100 trials. I've picked a lot of juries in my time.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of voir dire, which is the act of picking a jury, but I know it has to be done.
Right.
It's constitutional right, obviously. And it's its
art
own,
to that.
Yeah, it is its own little art form. I think one of the things that I hope lawyers do is get the client involved in voir dire. I always give them a yellow legal pad, like Patrick has in front of him right now, and a pen, and I said, tell me who you like or who you don't like.
Right.
Did someone wink at you? Did someone smile at you? And I'm not kidding. That's what I tell them. I said, write it down. Let me know about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And even the judge will ask at the end of voir dire, Mr. Smith, have you had a chance to confer with your counsel as far as the jury selection? Are you satisfied with the advice on the jury selection? And so that, it's a part of it, too, that the client should be actively involved in a voir dire.
Yeah. I would think so. I would think, especially, the severity of the crime.
To say if my butt's on the line, I'll make sure I'm participating in the selection process.
You should. I mean, at the very least, you should have some input as to who you would like to see. I mean, you're not going to get everybody you want, obviously.
Yeah.
Because the other side has strikes, too. They can strike people, too. But, just ask the client, who do you like? Who do you don't like?
Yeah.
What is it exactly?
Yeah. Good point. That way they're invested in the decision.
Yeah, and again, the judge is going to ask them, have you had a chance to talk to your lawyer about the jury selection process?
Good.
Yeah.
So you select the jury, then what? What's next?
Well, once you do that, of course, they get sworn in. There's always an alternate that gets sworn in. And one of the problems I have, I know it's a little bit of a tangent, but one of the problems I have is I don't think you should let the alternate know that he or she is the alternate.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Weird.
Right, because I don't know if they're going to pay as much attention as the 6 that have been selected.
Yes.
So I don't think you should ever tell the alternate. I think you should do that after, closing statements and the judge has given jury instructions.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's silly. That's okay. Let's change that law. Let's put that on the ballot next time.
Yeah, I know. Let's put that on the ballot.
How would we word that, though?
Right.
How would we word that to trick them?
Yeah, we're gonna rewrite it so that there's 2 alternates now. That's how they'll rewrite it.
Yeah, exactly. So your local attorney here, Hillsborough County, Pinellas County,
Pasco County.
Pasco
I have more cases right now in Pasco than the other 2 counties, actually.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's great. It's a nice little tri area that we have here. Tri-county area. It's relatively, close proximity, lots of business to be had here in the area. So what else would you say to people, who are you looking to talk to right now? Who are you looking for as far as clients?
Well, paying clients, of course.
Okay,
I'm sure we're all there. But the thing about criminal defense or DUI law, I always tell clients always the same thing. So listen, I need discovery before I can advise you accordingly, because there's always the defense version of what happened.
Right.
But I don't know what they know, and that's the most important thing, because I need to know if they have what's called an abiding conviction of guilt. I need to know if the prosecutor believes that this is a case I can take to jury trial and win.
Yes.
Without question. So I need to know exactly what it is they know. I need to know what law enforcement knows. One of the things, and I always try to use this as an analogy. I said, let's say you go to the doctor and you say, "Hey doc, can you fix me?"
Right.
Well, sure. Let's get a family history. Let's get some vitals. And he says, no, forget about that. Just fix me.
Yeah, just fix me.
Well, I don't have the evidence discovery. It doesn't matter. Just give me some pills and I'll be outside.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work that way.
No, not a smart way to do it. All right, stay with us right here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio. And we're going to tell you something good in our Feel Good segment and our Tell Me Something Good. Stay with us. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, #1 real estate company in the world, and real excited to be with that company. Real excited about it. We're attracting new agents to our team. If you're an agent looking to grow, we'd love to talk to you about helping you grow your business. Utilize our website as a contact form, consumerqb.com. Also a published author, professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves, prequel to our business that we launched with the ultimate fighting champion Ken Shamrock, called the Business Grow Celebrity Academy. We're teaching people how to grow their celebrity, help them become a micro celebrity to build wealth and a personal brand and increase celebrity status, and that's bgca.co. Mr. Ken Shamrock's going to be on the show on Monday as well. We're going to be conferencing him in from his home out in Reno, Nevada, talking about some of the updates and things happening in that space. So we're back here in studio. We got Patrick Moraites in the house, PEO Advantage, attorney Richard Alexander as well. Representing Alexander Law. And as you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team here, Keller Williams Realty. Got a hot listing I'll let you know about here. This one's 103 South Havana Avenue. 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, reduced down to $482,000. The owner is super motivated here. Charming South Tampa home, and it's a 2,464 square foot home in the Plant High School district. And it's a great opportunity, sought after school zone in a really nice area in South Tampa. 103 South Havana Avenue, a great property listing of Platinum MVP team here at Keller Williams Realty. And we've got a property in St. Petersburg, 1600 67th Avenue South, St. Petersburg, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, $255,000, corner lot. Great opportunity. No flood insurance in this 33712 zip code. And this is a nice property. Owners motivated here as well. Check out all of our real estate properties at platinummvprealty.com. And we'd love to chat with you about helping you put together an offer. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. They exceed your expectations every time. That is their goal. Tampa moving company that will exceed your expectations. Brothers Easy Moving. They are among the best reviewed Tampa Bay movers. 4.6 rating on Google. They have an A rating for the Better Business Bureau and Angie's List, and a 4.5 rating on Yelp. And they won the Super Service Award multiple years in a row. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, let's jump back into it. We got Patrick Moraites here in the house. We're talking about PEO, professional employer organizations, and what is the difference between a staffing company and a PEO?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that because it's oftentimes confused. So earlier we talked about how some of the other acronyms for PEO is employee leasing and co-employer. So the best way to distinguish between the two, if you think of a staffing company, they are a full employer, not a co-employer. So a staffing company is a traditional staffing company is going to recruit, they're going to hire, in some cases train, and place that employee for whatever job opening you may have. And it could be, I mean, there's tons of staffing companies in the area filling all kinds of different requisitions for jobs, anything from programming and IT to medical to even your warehouse and construction trades,
like labor type stuff,
labor type stuff, day labor, all that sort of thing. So, a staffing company, another term that is often utilized is EOR, or employer of record. So a lot of times those two get confused, where the PEO wants nothing to do with recruiting, managing, training any of your people.
Right.
So, that's the biggest difference between a staffing company and a PEO.
How does a staffing company get paid, by the way? Because I think it's more expensive, right, for the employer. They're going to have to pay time and a half or whatever.
So it can be more expensive because the way staffing companies bill, they bill on a total burden. So that they give you a flat rate per head. So in instances with state unemployment and federal unemployment, you reach caps and you stop paying those rates and fees. For a staffing company, you're not going to stop paying that. You're just going to pay a flat rate for the whole time that you have that employee on a job, unless you convert them into a permanent employee and bring them on your own payroll.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like testing, test driving before
That's a good way to do it.
You buy.
Could
is
be
one way to look at leveraging a staffing company.
Yeah.
But it can be more, or not can be, it is more expensive for your organization, but usually it's for a small, it's project-based work is
project-based. Yeah, because it is a big hassle for a company to, recruit, hire, train. I mean, that's a big hassle, so I see that.
It's an expense in itself. So you could, if you're a staffing company, you could probably argue that it's a break even, because if you hired your own recruiter and to recruit people and going through the interview process and everything else, whereas leveraging a staffing company, that could save you, in theory, it saves you the time.
Exactly.
But dollar to dollar, when you put a PEO quote or proposal on the table compared to a staffing quote, PEO is going to be cheaper right off the jump, just from honoring tax cutoffs.
Right. Yeah, economies of scale. There's a lot of stuff that comes into play with a PEO that we talked about in previous episodes. We're talking with Patrick Moraites here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So here's another question. If a company uses a staffing company, do they maintain their workers' comp loss history?
Actually, they don't, which is an important thing to distinguish. So a lot of times business owners end up being duped or confused and believing that they're going with a PEO, and in which case someone has misled them or misinformed them, and they put them with a staffing company, and the business owner ends up moving their entire workforce over to a staffing company, and in which case now they stop generating their own workers' comp loss history. So if they were to be unhappy with that situation and want to move, they would not be able to maintain or retain their own workers' comp loss runs, which is extremely important from an underwriting perspective when it comes to your insurance with respect to workers' comp. So that's one of the things that is important to note, that when you're evaluating, ask if you're working with a broker or an agent, ask and make sure that, hey, will I maintain my own work comp loss runs? Will I be able to see my work comp history? That way, if I want to move on and grow and move into a standalone work comp policy, I have the right information to provide underwriting.
Yeah, that's very important. I can see how that it's kind of very similar. Like an analogy would be if you work with a marketing company or web design company, they design the website, but in the fine print it says, if you leave us, we keep your website.
Right. Yeah, we keep all the code.
Yeah, we keep the code. Yeah,
we keep the code. You're like, well, that doesn't help me.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's like you're renting it.
You're leasing the website. Good analogy, by the way.
Yeah. So if you have a PEO, is a PEO cheaper than a staffing company? I guess that would be another question.
Yeah. So the PEOs, when you measure them up, apples to apples, the PEO is going to be more cost effective for you, especially in the long run when they're honoring the tax cutoffs that we talked about.
Very cool. Yeah. And I know in the past you've talked about your Alexa skill. How's that thing rocking?
Yeah, man, that's growing every month. Super excited to see where that goes. That's our HR Shield Alexa skill.
Yep.
So if you have an Alexa, we're coming out on Google Assistant within the next week or two. So really excited about that. There's 90 million users. There's 90 million people that have one or both devices in their home. Wow. So it's only a matter of time before that gravitates from the home to the workplace, and how to use that in the workplace. So we're really looking forward to just getting people comfortable with saying, hey, Alexa, instead of open Pandora, play some music, hey, Alexa, how do I terminate an employee? And and our skill, the HR Shield skill, walks you through those steps.
Wow. Yeah, that's got to be valuable for self-employed. And a lot of America's economy is the small business, the self-employed. Mm-hmm. A lot of the economy is. So you said, what, 90 million households?
So there's 90 million people own an AI device, whether it be an Alexa or a Google Home.
And I'd be interested to know, like, what's the top things that people are doing. I think mainly, like you said, they're using it for music and,
to-do lists,
tell me the weather.
Grocery lists. But you're seeing more and more stuff come out on commercials where, Alexa is tied to your refrigerator or your stove and stuff like that. So it'll be
smart programming for home devices.
It's going to migrate into the workplace without a doubt. I could envision people just saying, Alexa, run my payroll, you know, and there you go, you're done.
The gentleman that you introduced me to said he's running that like that for his company, I believe.
He's taken it to a whole nother level to where he'll say, Alexa, what's my accounts receivable? What's my accounts payable?
Wow.
Hey, Alexa, how are we performing on social media? And it'll provide all the reporting on responses, engagement, negative responses, reply to them. Do you want me to send an update to our investors? Pulls all that data.
Yeah. Hey, Alexa, call the people that owe me money on my accounts receivable. Call them, email them,
chase them down,
text them.
It's unbelievable.
What's next, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it really is.
So, but that's going to create a whole new wave of jobs that we haven't even, you know, thought of yet. You know, so new industries will be coming up. So obviously, many jobs will be eliminated through the development of AI, but a whole new segment will be created through.
Do you think it's going to be a net positive?
Innovation.
It's going to be a net positive, or
that's what all the analysts are saying. That it's going to be a net positive of like 50 million jobs.
Wow. Interesting.
But
very cool.
We'll know in time.
Very cool.
It's kind of like economics, right? We don't know what's going to cause the bubble to burst. We just know it's going to burst.
Yeah, there's a difference. There's sometimes a withdrawal or a difference between the projected numbers from a academic and an actual real world example of what actually happens.
Right. Yeah, and economics, it's so silly. We figure it out after it always happens.
Right.
You know, that's the study of
trailing numbers.
Yeah.
That's how you got to get real numbers, right?
Right.
Cool. All right, good stuff. That's Patrick Moraites, PEO Advantage. And coming up as well, attorney Richard Alexander here in studio, Alexander Law, in our Feel Good segment coming up as well. Watch firefighters revive family dog with CPR here in our Feel Good story. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Once
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. Check out consumerqb.com. You can also give us a call or a text on our hotline, 813-670-7372. We'd love to talk to you if you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate. We've got a great team to help you win, 813-670-7372. And this segment is brought to you by Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. Say hello to Steve and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. New office up in Carrollwood. They've got an office in South Tampa as well. And vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, all types of good stuff injected right into your bloodstream. Amino acids, vitamins, antioxidants, health and aging, anti-aging, weight loss, ozone therapy, so many ways that they can help you. And especially before you go on a long trip or coming back from a airline flight, I like to get fueled up, get juiced up over there, get a coffee change or oil change. Replenish IV Solutions, the science of nutritional balance. And I bet you a lot of people were hitting them up after Gasparilla this year. You know, they said they always get an influx after Gasparilla. But a couple of hot listings here. We've got a property in South Tampa at 4613 South Matanzas Avenue. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath. You also have a half bath here. Kind of giving you a sample of that 33611 zip code. This is a local celebrity's home as well. That's actually Ian Beckel's home. And he's for selling his home, his property, him and his wife. 4 bedrooms, 3 and 1 half bath. Quick walk to Bayshore Boulevard in South Tampa. Beautiful property listing at Platinum MVP Realty. 5506 Dallas Way, Valrico. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, River Hills Country Club, 3,500 square feet. It's a one-owner home that's sure to impress, and it's a great opportunity. It's got a den, you got a pool, 4-car garage, corner lot, and a gated community here in beautiful Tampa Bay.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, every day we're going to tell you something positive in our Feel Good segment of the day, and our Tell Me Something Good is a good one here.
Tell me something good.
So this firefighters revived family dog with CPR. Firefighters revived an unresponsive dog after a dog was found inside a home that caught fire in Sacramento. While all human occupants were out of the home and safe, the family dog named Dickie needed saving. Watch as firefighters arrive on scene, force entry through the door, and then the home, and then search, rescue, and provide Dickie with oxygen and CPR. So pretty cool story, saving dogs as well. So hats off to our firefighters, all of our first responders, medical staff, VAs. You know, we offer for any of our veterans out there as well, we offer a 0.5 point discount on their loans, 1/4 to 0.5 point, depending on loan size, on any of their real estate deals that we do for them, buying, selling, or investing. Everyone is included in that. We will help them out. So we'd love to help our folks out that are, serving the community. All right, let's jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning.
All right, let's start here with attorney Richard Alexander Law. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom.
I remember a quote, because actually I'm taking the page out of your book a little bit, Brandon.
Like it.
From when I met you, you've always talking about just, whatever it is you dream about, man, just go out and do it.
Yeah.
And George Adair had a great quote. He says, everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, it made me think of you, because you're just such a proponent of that. And I talk to my wife about it all the time. I just admired what you've been able to do.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a big fan of you, man. I
Appreciate
really am.
that, buddy.
I follow you on just about every social media, and you're always, you're always upbeat and positive. And I said, man, that's really the way to do it.
I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Appreciate the kind words. Parting words, Captain Patrick Moraites.
How do I top that, man?
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Be the Good shirt.
There you go. Right. Yeah.
I'm wearing a Be the Good shirt. Spread the message.
Yeah.
But as far as lightning round, just it's important to know what you're getting yourself into with respect to whether it be a payroll solution, dealing with a work comp only provider, or a staffing company or PEO. So know that a PEO is a co-employer. There's shared risk, shared liability. A staffing company or employer record is full employment. So
right.
it's important to know the difference between the two. A PEO, you can leave that relationship, get out and move on because you're maintaining your own loss history, the staffing company, you're not. It's full employment for them. Everything goes on their policy, on their records. It's all they're paying the taxes under their federal ID. So it's just important to know the difference between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. As a business owner, it's going to allow you, by working with Patrick Moraites' PEO Advantage, it's going to allow you to work more on your business as a craft, being good at what you do, being great at what you do, and focusing on, what's driving your business and those key components. We talk a lot about the 80-20 rule, Pareto principle, Wilfredo Pareto back in 1895. I love telling the story. It's like, think about it. 1895, he's an Italian economist in Italy, and he's saying, okay, he's noticing this trend that 80% of the wealth in the country is held by virtually 20% of the people or businesses. So he says, okay, and he starts analyzing that, and that has become what's known as the 80-20 rule. And then I break it down. I talk to my team about it a lot. Is it boils down to the 20% of the tasks that you do. What are the things that you can do, that you focus on, that you can control? And here's a hint: it's not what Trump's doing in D.C. It's not what Pelosi said. It's not what all these other people are doing. It's the 20% of the things that you can do that are going to help you control the things that you can control. So by focusing on that 80-20, those 20%, it's going to contribute to 80% of your success, and it's going to help move you toward that pendulum. And that's something else I remember reading with one of Hardy's books. He talked about, you can't push this pendulum on the side of success. You can only push the pendulum on failure. You can only fail more. So the more that you push and then you fail, then that's going to swing it back to the success side. So it's like this whole cycle that happens, that has to happen.
No, you're so correct. I mean, speaking of quotes, every week we have a quote of the week, and this week it was "Be stronger than your excuses." So it's just that 20% that you're talking about. I mean, we can come up with an excuse for anything. We can blame, like you said, DC or Pelosi or whoever. Yep. You can blame the fact that your kid's sick, or you can come up with all the excuses, but focus in on what you can control. Suffocate your excuses, and you will be successful.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Anything, Richard? You want to add anything?
No, I think you guys did a bang up job, man. Yeah. Really. You're right. It's about having the right attitude, and I forget who it was. The former owner of the Tampa Bay Lightning. He only held them for like 1 year.
Yeah.
But he has this big speech on YouTube about just do it.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
a multi-millionaire, but buying the Lightning was not in his best interest. He actually lost money on it. But he always taught. It's a YouTube video about. He says. He says, well, how am I going to get those clients? Well, just do it. Well, how am I going to get the money to open up the business?
Just one more call, man. Just one more call.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. Yeah, I know exactly what video you're thinking of, and I can't think of his name. And I think he was one of the original founders of not Herbalife, but the other one that was very similar to that back in the 80s.
Right. That's where he made a lot of his money. Yeah.
So it's interesting, it's a lot about the mentality, the mindset, and and especially, and then also on the other side of that is being a student, studying the statistics, especially in real estate. I've looked at we with this change that we made over to Keller Williams, they got market stats that we look at. I mean, it's interesting. You think about defining the market for your client base. I was looking at this the other day. Here we are in 2019. This is residential listings in Pinellas County. And you can plainly see a curve here happening. So when you look at, in 2018 in January, there was 5,600 units listed at the end of the month. There was 5,688 listings. Now in 2019, there's 6,362. Wow. So you can plainly see a curve happening. Mm-hmm. And when you talk to your clients about that, and then you actually calculate their absorption rate, the amount of properties sold versus what's listed, and you're coming to them with good content or with actual numbers. It's being a student of your craft.
Inventory is increasing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot more inventory now. So days on the market. Is extending. Got it. Yeah.
And it comes down to pricing. It really does. When you look at $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes, are you priced to where you're selling your competition, or are you one of the homes that are priced properly and now your competition selling you?
The tough thing for the owners to take the emotion out of it,
yes,
because they've got this fixation on the number that they want to get. But remember what you bought it for and what you have, what equity you have in it. It's sometimes it's better, take a bird in hand than.
Exactly.
And then you wait it out, the market corrects, and then you were holding out for something that the market would never have gotten to.
Oh yeah, those same buyers that you have right now, you might not see that same buyer for a whole nother 5-year cycle. Right. It could be those buyers are gone, and if you're still hanging on to that number that you have in your mind, that's what it gets me sometimes too. It's like, well, we have this number in mind. Well, okay, where'd that number come from?
Right.
What did you base that on? Because it's not on today's stats.
It's not on the comps that have sold in the last several months.
That's right.
In your area, so that's what.
That's right.
You got to deal with the facts.
That's it. Patrick Moraites, PEO Advantage, attorney Richard Alexander Law. Thanks for coming in today. Another great show. Thanks for watching and viewing our show. Again, on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku now, Sony TV. You can find us in a lot of different places. Follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. And, of course, the Consumer Quarterback Show page is out there. And please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing. Hand it to that person that you see in need. And be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.